You saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why they don't have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense.
Suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows, and then
which they do. They do it every fucking year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win album of the year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now. The winner is
Beyoncé. Like I always want to do stuff that when we're doing stuff from music that fits it reminds you of who is this guy?
A word or a sentence. Eminem, the best.
50 Cent isn't just stirring the pot, he's flipping the whole table. And now, with Eminem right next to him, the rap game's most unlikely power duo has set their sights on two of the most powerful names in all of entertainment, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. What started as a behind-the-scenes disagreement has spiraled into a high-stakes clash about influence, loyalty, and control. And if the rumors are true, it could expose a side of the industry that most fans never get to see. It all began with one of the biggest events in sports and music history, the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. This was supposed to be a celebration of hip-hop, with Dr. Dre bringing together legends like Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and 50 Cent. But according to 50, things almost didn't go that way. He claims Jay-Z, who had partnered with the NFL to help curate the show, told the league there was an issue with him performing. No details, no explanations, just a block. If the story ended there, 50 might have been left out in the cold. But here's the twist. Eminem allegedly made it clear, if 50 Cent wasn't on that stage, Slim Shady wasn't either. The NFL suddenly changed course, and the rest, well, you saw the upside-down entrance that broke the internet. On the surface, it makes no sense. Jay-Z and 50 Cent are both New York rap icons. They've crossed paths before, they've even worked the same spaces in the business. But 50 has his own explanation. He says, our culture is competitive. Even when you're not competing on the charts, the business moves still count. Translation, this wasn't about music, it was about influence. Who controls the stage? Who decides who gets seen and who gets left out? And if there's one thing 50 Cent doesn't do, it's play along when he feels disrespected. The Super Bowl was just a spark that made things public. Behind the scenes, there's been a quiet conversation in the industry for years about who really calls the shots.
I think it's just, when you take the competition from, like, our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past,
managers talk about phone calls that changed lineups last minute. Producers whisper about songs being shelved for mysterious reasons. Publicists know which names can't be mentioned in interviews without getting the media runaround. This is the shadow layer of the industry, the part where power isn't about how many hits you have, but who owes you favors. And Jay-Z, he's been in the game for decades. He's mastered the art of leverage, giving opportunities, building alliances, and collecting loyalty points like a game of chess. 50 Cent, on the other hand, has built his empire by breaking rules, not following them. And when these two mindsets collide, you don't just get a disagreement, you get a standoff. If there's one thing fans know about 50 Cent, it's that he has never been afraid to name names. From his early days calling out Ja Rule and Murder Inc., to taking aim at industry gatekeepers, to even trolling TV executives while filming Power, 50 has made a career out of fighting people bigger than him and winning. This isn't bravado, it's strategy. Every feud 50 engages in puts him at the center of conversation, boosts his brand, and usually ends with his opponent looking weaker. So when Jay-Z allegedly tried to block him from the Super Bowl, it wasn't just an insult, it was an open invitation for 50 to make a move. The thing is, 50 Cent isn't the first to hint at power moves from Jay-Z and Beyoncé's camp. Kellis accused Beyoncé's team of using her vocals without permission, calling it a direct hit at her career. Beanie Siegel revealed that despite years of loyalty to Rockefeller, he never got the financial or creative freedom he deserved. Jaguar Wright went viral telling stories about music industry politics and shady alliances. Even DMX once implied that his momentum was slowed down by forces behind the scenes. None of these claims have ever been fully confirmed, but when enough artists from different eras tell similar stories, it stops feeling like coincidence.
You said that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right. Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that knows, he's talking about Jay-Z. This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from. Like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of the even a lot of the competitive stuff, or we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. When before that they called it battling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what I went through with Joe. Like my issue with Joe, I was like, yo, I think what was the like? When did we bump into each other and have an altercation or anything? It wasn't that. It was just he's loyal to a default. He was
Still got it, man. 50 Cent, the television producer.
Just get going.
Future.
Oh, talent.
Nas.
The best.
Jay-Z.
Good business.
Long before the Super Bowl, the tension was already brewing. At Summer Jam 2002, Jay-Z famously rapped, "I'm about $1. What the F is 50 cents?" At the time, 50 was on the verge of blowing up, and that line was more than a diss. It was a warning shot. It set the tone for years of silent rivalry. Both men dominated their lanes, Jay-Z in the boardroom, 50 in the streets and on the charts, but they never forgot that moment. The most fascinating part of this whole story might be Eminem's role. In an era where most artists put their own career first, M was willing to put his Super Bowl appearance on the line for 50. This goes back to 2002, when Eminem signed 50 to Shady Records at a time when no major label would touch him. They've had each other's backs ever since, through beefs, business deals, and media attacks. In the music industry, loyalty like that is rare. And the fact that Eminem used it at the exact moment Jay-Z allegedly tried to block 50, that's the part that turns this from drama into a potential power shift. While Beyoncé hasn't publicly commented on any of this, her influence is undeniable. She is more than an artist. She's a cultural institution. Between her music, film projects, and fashion partnerships, she has the ability to shift trends overnight. That kind of power means her alliances, and by extension Jay-Z's, carry weight far beyond music. So even if Beyoncé isn't actively involved in these disputes, her presence in Jay-Z's corner changes the stakes. Going against him can feel like going against both of them, and their combined reach is enormous. When the Super Bowl story broke, fans lit up Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Some sided with Jay-Z, saying he had the right to decide who appeared in his curated halftime show. Others saw it as proof of a deeper problem, too much control in the hands of too few people. Memes, reaction videos, and conspiracy threads flooded the internet, with some fans even digging up old interviews to connect the dots. Whether true or not, these narratives take on a life of their own, and once the internet picks a side, the feud becomes bigger than the people in it. In Hollywood and the music world, there are invisible lines you're not supposed to cross. Sometimes it's a feud you don't bring up in interviews. Sometimes it's a friendship you don't challenge publicly. 50 Cent has crossed those lines his entire career, and each time it's made him stronger. Jay-Z, meanwhile, has built his empire by working within those lines, making allies in high places and controlling his narrative. When these two strategies crash into each other, the fallout can reshape the whole industry. The question now is, does this blow over or does it escalate? If 50 keeps pushing, more artists might come forward with their own stories. If that happens, Jay-Z and Beyoncé's carefully curated image could face its biggest challenge yet. Or this could stay behind the scenes, handled quietly, without the public ever knowing how close things got to boiling over. But one thing's for sure, when you have 50 Cent and Eminem on one side and Jay-Z and Beyoncé on the other, you're not just watching a feud, you're watching a clash between two completely different visions of how the music industry should work.